Go live. We live. Go live. We live. Go live. What's up, everybody? How was your week? I can't hear you, Brandy. I can't hear you,
Miss
What's up?
Markins.
Dwight.
What's
I
Markins.
can't hear
up?
you.
Markins.
Going
Another
on?
Friday.
Cheers to another week. We did it.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Cheers,
We
cheers,
did it.
cheers.
We did it.
Salute. End of August, bro.
Yep. Last show for the month. We made it through August, going out like a controversial month.
We back tired.
Girl, like we started back in March. Ain't
It's
it?
exhausting being black, baby. Exhausting being black.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm. What
Stay
if
thirsty, my friend.
you say what, Dana? Stay thirsty, my friend.
Yes.
I want to play this video from I don't know if you saw it. I'll just let it speak for itself. You guys tell me if you saw this.
And they're spewing this fear, right? Like all you hear is Donald Trump and all of them talking about fear. We're the ones getting killed. We're the ones getting shot. We're the ones that we're denied to live in certain communities. We've been hung, we've been shot, and all you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing to me why we keep loving this country and this country does not love us back. It's just...
Yeah.
Dang. Is
Yeah.
he crying in that?
That's real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He was.
Dang.
That's raw
Yeah.
emotion.
Raw
That's
emotion.
the
You took
truth.
it
It's like,
right
what
out.
you scared of?
Yep.
What are you scared of?
That's
You know,
real.
it's all from the Republican base. They always go with law and order as their cliched phrase to go out to try and whenever they see protests and stuff like that, they want to restore law and order. We want to get law and order back in it. Well, really, that's a code word for we're gonna kill some more black folk. We're gonna keep pulling them over. We're gonna kill them, and we're gonna keep it moving and stuff. And this personally hits home for me, and this didn't happen until just today. My daughter is 14 years old. She's going to be 15, begin to start driving. And so I was like, so you're going to be driving soon, supposed to be a happy moment. She starts to cry. And I'm like, why are you? What's wrong? She was like, I just don't want to get pulled over and lose my life while I'm...
Lord, Kaisi.
And so I'm terrified of driving now. And
That's
it just
rough.
really touched my heart that my child, like driving is, as you all know, growing up down here in South Florida, that was the pinnacle of your teenage years. Like, I'm about to get my restricts, then I'm about to get my license. Man, we about to go
You
to...
was ready for the world. Yeah, you were like,
Exactly.
it's on.
We're going to the Mahi Temple, or we going to the National Guard Army, or we going to the Night Center.
We going to USA Flea Market.
Right, we're going to
What?
USA Flea Market. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to get these
Running
jam
up the road.
We're going to hit these jam pony tapes.
Get my jam pony tapes. Take them back to school with me.
Right. That was like the pinnacle of your child years or your teenage years down here in South Florida. And she's petrified of that. She's petrified to get behind this wheel, press on the gas, because one of these dudes is going to look at her and vilify her and possibly put her in the ground. And that's what she's scared of.
Well, Latif, you got a truck, Latif. So really, she don't really have to stop. She could just keep going. That 2500
Right.
and the 2500 got diesel too. So
Yeah.
2500 do like 800 miles to a full tank of gas.
Don't do that,
Miles.
That's
Miles, to your point. Hey, Miles, to your point. If Kaisi is driving around in her daddy's truck, And those people are not gonna think that that person driving that truck is Kaisi.
Right.
It's gonna be piecing up like the dude who killed those people walking around, the 17-year-old.
Yeah.
They're gonna, I mean, blend
walk
right in.
Past police like it was all good too.
Because it
walk
was
right past the police like it was all good too.
Right.
You know,
the thing about Doc Rivers that makes that even more powerful is that his dad's a police officer, right? So
right. He did say that. He touched on that too, right?
He's coming from a thing where it's just like it's a stark contrast from what he grew up. Like he grew up in an era, and many of us, we knew officer friendly, we knew police officers, Officer Tooks in the neighborhood, you know, Officer Beckford, all these people we knew were police officers in our neighborhood, and they were from the neighborhood. Now we're dealing in a situation where you have a culture of officers who are just like jerks. And I'm, you know, and I'm not trying to say it for folks out there, because again, we all know members of law enforcement, but I just remember I remember going in Applebee's one day and this dude just like looking at me out of the side of his eye just because I'm walking in to the restaurant like I did something wrong just by showing up. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on in your mind today, right? Like what is bothering you so much at the idea that I can eat food where you at, or what? I mean, what is it? And so that's what irritated me about all that's been happening is like, you know, like the shooting of Jacob Blake was one problem, you know what I mean? Just like George Floyd or anything else. The issue I had was the next day when the officers are handing out water to these white guys walking around with AR-15s, talking about thank you for being out here. We appreciate you and support you and what you're doing. And then to have the police chief and the sheriff from Kenosha, Wisconsin, basically endorse it. Like the police chief tried to blame the people who got killed in Kenosha for their own death. Like, I need people to marinate on that for a second, right?
He blamed them for being out. He said this incident wouldn't happen if they would abide by the curfew. So you're gonna victimize the victim.
Right. I mean, it's crazy to me.
Not a problem with somebody showing up. Well, first of all, he has a weapon illegally.
Exactly.
And he drives. Exactly. He's coming to hunt
from another state. From another state.
And that's that's the crazy part of it.
Well, I'm just curious. When are we going to figure out that the police department is really a gang? Militia versus gang. I mean, when white people do it, it's called a militia. When black people do it, it's called a gang. It's a gang. And you know, and it's just about accountability. I'm really sick of just, you know, us, especially the NBA, the NFL. We're always creating these forums or these different type of opportunities, the SBs, and we're always speaking, but I just don't see the police department stepping up to the table and talking about it. Like, I got a neighbor who's fantastic, great guy. I don't talk about the military. I don't even talk about, you know, policing, because I know where his mindset is, and I don't want to allow that to, you know, get in the way of what I think of him as a person. But the reality is,
you can't help it.
Well, you can't, but here's the thing. It's still, at the end of the day, and I've said this before, I don't care how many times you celebrate Juneteenth, I don't care how many times you remove a flag or whatever, it's still about issues of the heart. And this is about righteousness. Mm-hmm. And I don't see police officers stepping up to the plate saying, hey, this is wrong. Now, I've seen a handful of black police officers step up, but they were arrested or they were pulled over. Now it's Black Lives Matter. Wrong is wrong, right is right.
To me, when you have these forums and these partnerships with these organizations, they need to make some type of project where police departments in specific areas need to have a certain amount of black officers, and they need to know.
Here's the thing. What? Everyone always says having more black police officers is going to make a difference. The reality of a black police officer is oftentimes their baptism is that they have to go as hard or harder on their own people.
But maybe we have our own police academy. Maybe we have our own police academy.
You know what? You know what? To your point, Dwight.
It's the
To
standards
your
that they
point,
have to
Dwight.
live up to in that department.
Yeah, to your point, Dwight. I would say this from my own personal experience. The last 15 times that I've been pulled over, the last 15, and I'm talking about 15. That's not like that's happened in the last year. Let me throw that out there though. It's like 15 times in like the last
6 months.
years.
6 months.
Last 15 times in like the last 15 years of my life, I've been pulled over by Hispanic and white officers. They have let me go, especially if I was dressed in business attire, or if I was dressed in a shirt and tie, or I was dressed, in a quote unquote non-urban or non-threatening attire. I got pulled over by a black cop, a black FHP patrol officer, coming from a Trayvon Martin luncheon where my brother was actually being honored. I got pulled over. I got my wife and my mother in the car.
Mm-hmm.
That dude gave me a ticket and was extremely militant and extremely condescending and extremely belligerent and extremely loud. And I'm just basically just like, brother, I'm just coming from Trayvon Martin. It's almost as if he was like, sir, I don't give a damn about no Trayvon Martin or anybody else. Like, you finna get this ticket. Thank God. All praises be to God that my wife actually happened, just fortuitously, happened to be friends with his superior officer.
SAT word.
With his superior officer. And on the date of the court date, she sent him somewhere else so he wouldn't show up. So the ticket was dismissed. And that's not just him, but it seems like every interaction that I can recall with a black officer, they've never given you any wiggle room or any reprieve.
Right.
Like, you getting that ticket.
I just keep talking about that with NWA.
It's
black
tough.
cop showing out for the white cop. I mean,
yeah,
right.
I'm telling you.
And not to blanket it, because again, I know black officers.
Right.
But it's like it's a culture.
Yeah.
It's that blue wall of silence. The thing, like, I gotta prove to you that I'm gonna do this.
But that's what I'm saying. Maybe they get trained in a separate, it's an HBCU for officers.
He's saying White saying they have to be part of a whole separate police department. Where the culture of the police department is totally different. Because he's saying that in the police departments now, the culture is you have to be a stickler and you have to prove yourself.
Well, let's look at what happened with some of the football teams and basketball teams that responded to what happened. The NFL joined with the NFL Players Association and released a statement. I'm just going to read the first sentence. The NFL community is united more than ever to support one another in these challenging times. We share anger and frustration, most recently as a result of the shooting of Jacob Blake. And then you also had teams, Washington football team, who issued a statement. Then you also had the Indianapolis Colts. They issued a statement, said that they were not going to practice. Then last night, that the Bucks decided that they were going to boycott the game, which led to Orlando Magic then not forfeiting. They
Houston
went ahead
Rockets.
and boycotted. What's that?
No,
the Houston Rockets. Yeah.
Oh, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the
baseball
Clippers.
teams did it also.
Everyone. Yeah, I was about to say, shout out to the Marlins. They actually went out. The Marlins and the Mets actually started the game.
Yeah,
and then
walked
quit
away
in the middle of the game, while it was on TV. I was like, that's
wow,
move right there.
Yeah.
I
will tell you.
For all y'all who don't know, the Marlins do a tribute to a Negro League baseball player every Sunday. So that's my team. That's my squad.
Well, no, shout out, because today's the day. Today's the day they're celebrating Jackie Robinson Day in the Major League Baseball, and that's what they wanted to do. So they actually did 42 seconds of silence in honor of Jackie Robinson, and and then left a Black Lives Matter T-shirt on home plate on something like, yeah, we out.
Well, here's what I think that it, to me, I mean, right now it's easy for everybody to join the party. It's really easy to do that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what settles is going to continue to further this conversation and bring light to the stuff that's going on, because the reality is, listen, if I'm an owner, I'm just like, hey, I don't care if you wear a t-shirt, I don't care if you put it on a home plate, long as you playing, that doesn't move me. Because here's the thing, we these players have to understand, if you can hit them in the pocket where it really counts, because it affects the networks, it affects viewership,
advertisers,
money, advertisers, the whole nine. That's really the key. That's the key. So if the players really are smart, I mean, the owner's going to have, oh yeah, this is great. Because here's the thing, one game ain't going to make a difference for them. They're going to come right back around Saturday and play, which might have more viewership, which might make up for that last game they didn't play. But when the dust really settles,
it gets more intense every time. So we can't expect, this is everything, not that it's new, but I think that their response is, we can't keep just being like, oh yeah, but that's not enough. As brown, Black people,
Brandy, it's not enough.
Yeah, but we got to do too. Like we need to commend them for doing that and saying, and it keeps increasing every time.
Right.
Brandy, listen, how many times do people have to die for us to increase them to do something more?
Look, they've never not played. They've never boycotted like that.
Yeah,
it keeps increasing.
my thing. It's not enough, but it's more than I've ever seen before.
It's a step in the right direction.
What happened before?
It's a step in the right direction. We've never seen anything like this before in anybody's life.
Widespread at all. This is, it could be easy, but this is way more than what's happened before.
Even hockey teams
setting precedents. But I do agree with Roy that a year from now, I want to see exactly if this is continuing.
I agree with that too.
And what is being done within the communities.
Yeah. What has it progressed into?
Right.
Exactly. In every catastrophic event that has happened in these United States, it has always been a knee-jerker. 9/11, Hurricane Andrew, earthquakes, or whatever. During all those times, everybody is on a kumbaya. Everybody looks at me as their American brother. 6 months after that, after everything is cleaned up, buildings go back up, roof get fixed, everybody fence get back up. Now
and then something else have to happen. Yeah.
Right.
Look, I ran out of my drink. Can we lighten it up?
Well, what I will say, Latif, as we close out though, on a positive note, the NBA had committed $300 million, which is, you gotta put it in context. NFL, even after recognizing that Kaepernick was right, only put about $80 million of investment in the Black communities. NBA has now committed $300 million, which is significantly higher. I think the NFL needs to match, if not exceed.
Yes.
But I think to your point around the ownership, like I think it was Jamel Hill brought this up via Twitter, and she was just like, the reality is, if these owners really want to do something, they will pick up the phone and call Trump and be like, do something. Because they all have the power to do it. You're talking about multi-millionaires who own these teams, and that, to Roy's point, is the thing that needs to be done. Like, these cats need to pick up the phone and be like, I'm not contributing, I'm not giving. You need to move off your butt and go ahead and do something and make some actual policy change, because
and they're not going to do
that's one of the biggest issues.
And they're not going to do that.
Well, here's the thing. Players have to be, that you have to sacrifice something. It's more than, to me, it's more than a game. It's more than the jersey. And if you're going to say you're more than an athlete, you're going to have to sacrifice and put some skin on the line, because I think that's really the long-term effect is really not playing. And I think, I was concerned about the league or any of the sports starting, because what I didn't want to happen is really, sports to overshadow the movement that's really happening.
But I think that's why you see the Black Lives Matter on the court, and you see when they're playing, they got the social injustice monikers and things on the back of their jerseys, so that you don't forget, so that you're constantly reminded, so that you're incessantly hit over the head with the purpose of why we even came back to this bubble, and promoting the cause and shouting from the rooftops and the mountaintops with regards to the concerns of the Black community. I mean, that's what
shout out to the WNBA, because they're actually talking about not playing. Like they're much more radical than the guys. Like
but they have to be. WNBA they have to be because they're the women.
Get this.
They have to be radical.
Very good segue, April. Speaking of women, Kamala Harris, as a woman, Kamala. As a woman, why? Well, see, my friend Plies, I told him to try to do one that didn't have so many curse words, and then I could use it tonight, but he's just not going to listen to me. And he told me not to put the ones that he puts up in our group text messages, so I just can't play nothing. But did you guys see?
Flies and the cuss words.
Did y'all see his response to those people who were saying that Kamala was not too black? She was not black enough.
I'm not black enough.
Yeah, that she did not. She wasn't black enough, and his response was, "How much blacker can you be?" She went to Howard. She went to Howard. She is an AKA. I'm saying,
She was born in Oakland.
Yeah, she was born in Oakland. I mean, how blacker can you get? But the real question that he was alluding to is the question I'm going to pose to you all for just your 2 cents. Why are Black women critiqued and looked at with such scrutiny and have to do that more than anybody else?
Connected, canceled.
Sorry.
Alexa, play "Phenomenal Woman" by Maya Angelou.
Yeah, go ahead, Alexa.
Right. Alexa was answering your question.
Yeah, Alexa was like, "Girl, you got it going on."
I am a Black woman.
Yeah.
Tell you about the Black women.
I got to do extra.
I got to shut this down.
No, but seriously, why do Black women always have to achieve to a higher standard?
Do you think that's relegated for Black women? Like generally speaking, Ms. Markins, or do you think that's just aimed at Ms. Harris due to her questionable track record?
No.
Here we go.
No, it's Black women.
It's Black women universally, and like Du Bois, W.B. Du Bois talked about that back in the day, about how disrespected and disregarded Black women have been in society, even though they've been the stiffening of the spine, they've been undergirding.
Oh, absolutely.
American
absolutely. Their love is tried and true.
Right. And so it's a carryover of that. It's always the vilifying. Actually, they talked about this when they were going through the selection process, that all the Black women that were being vetted were going through much more scrutiny than any of the white women. Like, you never heard any of the stuff about Elizabeth Warren. You never heard any of the stuff about
Sarah Palin.
The governor of Michigan. I'm talking about just this year.
Okay.
They were saying everybody from Karen Bass to Hemmings to Kamala were all being, just torched in the media, and it's just a thing that they do. They tear down Black women. Like, it's a societal thing that we got to stop.
So in America, you have the white men, and so the white men on the totem pole of America, you have the white men at the top. Then you have others. Then you have a Black man. Then you have a white woman. Then you have a Black man. Then you have the Black woman at the bottom. So the American, as we've all seen in this systemic society, vilified the Black community, period. They also objectify women, i.e. the gentleman, I ain't gonna call him a gentleman, the boy in the White House saying that he's gonna you gotta grab women by their whatever. So he's objectifying them. So then furthermore,
locker room talk.
as you vilify the African-American community, and as you objectify by grabbing a woman, when you put those two together as a Black woman, this piece of whatever or what have you, and not even knowing the strength that the Black woman has gone through to be on the backbone of this country and to build this country on her back. on a consistent basis. She's the one that cleaned your house, raised your kids, taught your kids, did everything for you, and you still don't know how to do nothing. That black woman handles everything for you and did everything for you. That's the reason why you turn to her and say, so, what does Sally eat for dinner? And she turns back to you and says, oh, she loves mac and cheese.
Yeah, I think we're in a time where Black women are breaking barriers, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's the political platform. I mean, we have women, Black women, and then back to Latif's point, Black women have been the pillar and the backbone of these houses. So you also got of homes, right? And so I think we live in a time where if you can break down a Black woman, and we say 80. When I look at some numbers, 80% of these homes now are ran or owned by Black women. They're the head of the household, right? And so I think it's a target to continue to do what they've already done to Black men, and then now you have Black women that are in the forefront of it all, back to raising their kids, back to being the pillar of the household, and so
but it runs deeper and longer, Roy. Like we're celebrating 100 years of women having the right to vote, and now it's just people are just now getting to the conversation that amendment didn't apply to Black women. You know what I mean? Like they literally put Black women in the back of the marches.
Well, she's a threat. The Black woman's a threat. She's a threat.
They didn't recognize even the Black woman's abilities back then during the suffrage movement. So all I'm saying is like this isn't anything new,
right?
But it's surprising to me that like Black people tend to be participatory in the destruction of Black women.
That part,
it gotta start. It gotta start first with our Black men.
The issue is like we got to be better about that. Like if you want to go after her record, that's one thing, but you don't go after her Blackness. You don't go after the fact that she's been doing what Black women have been doing, which is like being bosses for a long time. Like that shouldn't be even up for discussion.
Right. I think a lot of people, and it's just people in general, a lot of people they won't give credit because then they gotta look in the mirror and be like, she did it and I couldn't.
Right.
So she must have had this, she must have had that. But that's basically telling them I ain't put the work in. And a lot it's sad that a lot of people view other people that way. What they say, blowing your candle out doesn't make my candle shine any brighter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think putting her down make them look better. No, it don't. It just make you look worse.
Makes you look 100% worse. There's one thing that I would never do, and it's just like in all of our houses. I can talk about my brother and sister, but I'll be damned if you talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I will protect them at all costs, and that's what needs to happen with Kamala.
Right.
Exactly.
I will protect her at all costs. Y'all not gonna say nothing about her. She had a little thing, what have you, but dog, hey, what about them pedophiles that you be looking at? What about them little porno things you be looking at?
Well, look, Latif, Captain, my friend Plies, you know what he said about that, about her record? He asked, well, I mean, let's be real. And then he did his little chuckle laugh like he does. Yeah, that one.
And she was drinking a 40.
That one. So do we really think
First Lady got pictures on the internet?
Right. We get to that too. Do we really think that Kamala said, bring me all the files for just the Black people?
Exactly.
I mean, I just want to execute the Black people. I just need to be hard on the Black people.
Exactly.
Is that what we're really thinking?
And then furthermore, why y'all pulling up her past? I don't pull up y'all crap.
Right.
Well, I think we
like
buy,
the sitting president has
it, right?
19 sexual assault cases still pending. Like let's not forget that. Like Donald Trump has 19 sexual assault cases still. Like the only reason he can't be prosecuted on those right now is only because he's the president of the United States.
That's the only reason. The day he gets out, He will be locked up, and I guarantee you, Melania's filing in December.
Melania is going to move away from him.
She's a Russian spy.
We have a comment. That's funny. We have a comment from Jody Mumford Porter. She said, "I think in the instance of Kamala, the question is how she self-identifies. The same question arose with Barack when he had to come out and say that he was blackety black, which is true.
We don't.
Well, hey, Ply said it, if she got pulled over, she would be saying I'm Indian. They'd be like, we got a black.
Yeah, it does.
Somebody black about the handcuff.
Off the eye, she is a
like
black
Dick
woman.
Gregory said. He say how ignorant can we be at times when we say Barack not black enough, but we'll say Clinton was the first black president.
Right.
Yeah, you got like what?
You know what I'm saying?
Look, to your point, Dana, this woman who went up against Nancy Pelosi and lost, her name is Deanna Lorraine. She tweeted out that America needs far more women like Melania Trump and far less like
Cardi
B.
And Cardi B said, did she used to sell that WAP?
Wow.
Didn't she used to sell the WAP?
I love it.
Yeah.
They know it.
Boy. First of all, people need to stop putting Cardi B on Twitter.
40 rubles.
That's not what you want. You don't want to beef with Cardi. Not on Twitter.
Cardi said,
No.
When did Cardi say she was going to dog walk somebody? I will dog walk somebody.
What was the Russian price of whatever she was?
And then all of the pictures started floating about Melania with this woman, Melania with that woman, her standing on the wall.
Right. Stand on the wall squatting.
That's
doing it all.
Breaking.
Come on, man. And that's your first lady?
She's the first lady in history where you can be like, I seen your titties.
I feel bad. Look, I feel bad they did that, but that lady brought her into it. So
yeah,
I don't feel bad.
I'm just as a woman.
You bringing up old stuff.
She got some
speech hijacker. Speech hijacker like a mug. I mean, just
overcame that.
She overcame her past. Let us get over our past. And now she's lady.
Be responsible. That's all.
Brandy, I'm gonna pray for you. You seem to have this thing for a woman's past. Like you're very sensitive. You're very sensitive to a woman's past, Brandy.
Right.
I don't know who hurt you in the past,
I'm like,
Brandy.
let her live.
Who, Melania?
Who did whatever to you in the past, Brandy. But I'm praying that you would release that. Okay, release it.
Bind it and throw it away.
Because anytime somebody brings up somebody's past, you go full defensive. Why we gotta talk about her past? Why we gotta do this?
But see, why do people have to imitate black women like this? Huh? Because I wasn't doing none of it. Right. Dude, that's what they're gonna do to Kamala.
Because Brandy, when a black woman, that's why they try to suppress black women, because one thing you will not do to a black woman is silence her. No, she gonna have her say. She gonna have her say like this. She gonna have her say.
Her neck gonna have her say.
Speaking of black women and Brandy. Speaking of black women and Brandy, are you all going to watch Brandy versus Monica on Monday?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Sitting up in my room.
They have 2 songs together, so I'm excited.
They talking about who's gonna play which one first.
But how many songs together?
Wait. My question is, who you think gonna be more extra?
Ooh, Brandy.
Monica.
Monica
is extra.
Yeah, I got Monica.
I don't know.
Okay, but listen.
She fabulous.
After they play the 2 songs, the show could be over.
No, shut up.
That part.
Boy, it's not true.
Jessica.
That part.
As long as Brandy does not perform, we're good.
She's gonna perform. They both extra, but Monica is extremely.
You see me leaning on my arm.
Oh my Lord. Y'all were mad at her
when she performed at Jazz in the Gardens? When she performed at Jazz in the Gardens?
It was
everybody said Brandy should have stayed up in her room.
But I think she was going through some stuff. She is like talking about it now.
Whatever. then
how her daughter saved her
stay up
life.
in your room. If you gotta go through something, stay up in your room. It's cool. I ain't
She'll need to pay her bills, Latif.
She a black.
She'll need to pay her bills.
She's a black person.
Look here. She need to
pay her bills, Latif.
She need to base her budget off of that residual
Look at Brandy.
income that
Brandy
she
is
gets from
foolish.
Moesha and all the rest of them shows. Or what
That
have
just started.
They just put Moesha on Netflix because what's her name is there.
I think they should play songs from their famous boyfriends from back in the day.
Right, exactly.
I think Brandy should play a Boys to Men song, and then Monica should play somebody from C Murder.
Just bring in everybody from
Duck and Run.
Did you say C Murder? Did you say C Murder? That's a great segue. That's a great segue. Did you guys see what Master P said about Kim Kardashian and Monica as it relates to C Murder?
No, who's Master P?
I don't. His daddy. I mean, his brother.
Brandy say who's Master P.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
But do you know who Mystical is?
But listen, baby, I'm a dirt bag.
Yes. Listen, Master P. I don't know if Master P has a good relationship with his brother.
Not
anymore.
Well, I think they've always been some contention there, April, due to the fact that P is pretty much the founder of No Limit Records, and he's the one that really paved the way for that whole family and that whole crew to make money. He's always been the boss, so
he said in his interview that he's not going. He's like, I'm not coming to see you anymore.
Well, it's because of what he did.
Yeah. What I think it stems from, April, I think he's been the one to always bail him out, to always be there for him, to always put up the money, to always, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like you like a leech. It's like, for instance, it's like, Latif was always messing up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
I think that was you. I think that was you, Miles.
Stop that. You know
Miles,
what I'm saying?
I think that was you.
Oh, Miles.
I think that was you, Miles.
Oh,
Miles, I think that was you.
Latif was always messing up. And
Miles,
last time
we shouldn't be talking about people past, Miles. We should be talking about people past.
I think they said he committed.
I'm so glad everybody saw through all of that brush that I was messing.
But what did C Murder and Kim Kardashian have to do?
So C Murder sent a message out thanking Kim Kardashian and Monica for helping him because he's in jail.
And
I knew that.
No, he's not in jail, Ms. Mockins. He's in prison.
What's the difference?
That's different.
You can only stay, Ms. Mockins, you can only stay in jail 365 days or 364 days. After that, you gotta go to prison. You gotta go to prison.
But not over there.
He's in prison. He ain't in jail. No. He ain't in jail. My man is in prison.
I'm happy to know you know the difference. Thank you, Mike.
Lockdown.
Okay, so he thanked them for what are they doing for him?
Helping him get him out. Well, Monica said, she replied back and was just like, what are you talking about? If you would have checked any of the records, I have not seen him. I haven't signed in to be no witness. I mean, a visitor. I haven't gone to see him. So why are you saying all this stuff about me?
Well, not ever. She hasn't gone in a while.
Well, yeah.
Don't get me mixed up with my boo.
And then of course, what?
You couldn't do that when she was married. That's why.
Right.
Why you?
Yeah.
They were trying to bring light to his case and bring light to the fact that, the case wasn't concrete.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Put him in prison. And since Kim is on this little reform deal, they were trying to get him out, but Louisiana ain't letting him out at all.
Oh,
well, we don't know what Kim's powers can do because
she made her whole family famous. With
we do not know.
Actually, we have seen what
Here we go.
That's what I get ready to say, Dwight. I'll get ready to say, Dwight. Go ahead, Brandy. Go ahead, Brandy.
You know I'm coming.
Go ahead.
We actually, Ms. Mockins, have seen what Kim's powers.
No, we don't know. We don't know.
Kim is pretty powerful.
She's powerful.
Holes in this house. There's some holes in this house.
When you see him pulling them out. Oh,
we saw it. Oh, she had that wop, bop,
I know. I'm not. The song is catchy though. But listen, leave her out of this. You guys always want to bring her WAP into this, and that's none of anybody's business.
Powerful.
Well,
I didn't say WAP. I didn't say WAP.
Monica should bring Kim Kardashian out, and then Brandy could bring her brother out, and they could meet on the show.
Oh, that's
on
true.
The verse.
That would be nice. Yeah.
I didn't say WAP. I didn't say WAP. I said she had that WAP.
The way
you breaking up. Okay, next. We can't. Latif sound like a robot.
No, Latif, we can't hear you, buddy. We can't hear you.
Okay.
Look, we gotta go, but let me just ask you guys one thing before we jet for this week. Did you guys get to catch any of the March on Washington?
Yeah. No, I didn't get. I didn't see any of it.
A little bit.
Yeah. I was watching it today.
It's still on now, isn't it?
I was watching the virtual one and the one that the actual live.
Well, I'm sorry, Dwight. I really wanted to hear your intellectual's perspective on that, but I was thrown off because I think, Brandy, did you just ask me, is it on right now?
I said it's still on right now.
It is?
Yeah, live. Like yeah.
Brandy.
Brandy.
Stop, Brandy. Stop.
B, they said no, B.
Brandy.
Somebody tell B.
No.
I'm like, didn't I send that to you?
It's off, B.
Look, I'm not even.
Brandy.
Look, all voices are silenced. I'm just my eyes just looking at Dwight like what?
Brandy. Brandy.
Hey, Brandy. Every week we
should have sent you to Volusia County to Bethune-Cookman.
God, I'm tired. Y'all broke me down today. I'm tired.
We should have sent Brandy. Y'all don't mind Brandy.
Went to Florida.
She means
well.
It
out every single time.
Yeah, she means well. We just should have sent her up I-95 instead of the turnpike.
So Dwight, give us some closing thoughts on your perspective on the March on Washington.
No, I mean it was powerful. It was necessary. I mean, today marks the 57th anniversary of the 63 March, and it was powerful. It was powerful, but also sad to see so many families that have been impacted by all these police shootings. I mean, they had the mother of Mike Brown, they had the family of Jacob Blake, they had Ahmaud Arbery's dad, they had all, and it's just like when you start seeing the names and really seeing the people that have been impacted by this, it really brings to light that something's got to change significantly. But I would add that today is also going to be the National Black Political Convention is also happening virtually. Blacknovember.org at 7:00. And it's the first time in over 40 years that you're going to have all these kind of Black political minds in one space trying to develop some solutions. And so that's what I'm excited to see is like, let's stop talking about it and be about it. And so that's what the conversation tonight's going.
So that's blacknovember.org.
Blacknovember.org. Yes, ma'am. 7:00 Eastern Standard Time.
15
As we get off of here, that's
15 minutes.
That's
tonight.
Yeah, he sound like
yes, Captain. Yes, Captain.
Tonight.
Brandy,
I'm gonna need
I
you
was
to take
only a couple
classes.
minutes late. I watched it earlier.
You did.
Look,
Y'all had me
I'm gonna
thinking
take some
that.
graduate courses. Take some graduate courses at Flomo, and then we can suppress the rest of you.
Shut up.
She has her master's, Captain.
They got the same colors.
So
just take
we
a
can do-
course.
we
She got her master's.
She already has her master's, Captain.
There we go.
Can we get a doctorate from there or something? I mean,
Yeah, if I wanted to.
That's right.
Wait, time out. Do they have doctorate programs?
Trust Black women. They do not yet.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
Oh, there are some of the HBCUs that have doctoral.
Not in Miami.
They are still a university though, because they do have.
They have graduate programs, right? We gotta keep building. We gotta build this up.
Before we go, I just wanted to know: did you guys notice that the numbers in Miami on COVID, they're like continuing to decrease? I don't. Is it just me? I am not feeling very confident.
They're decreasing mask up to open up.
And the government knowing that.
B, is that y'all thing? Mask up to open up?
That is B up here capping for her job. I appreciate you, B. That's right. You stay.
I don't know about these numbers because what is the governor's name? DeSantis? Remember, he doctored the numbers at one time to make it look good for this report. How do I know?
Well, they're testing less, so I don't know.
Hello.
The CDC has changed their requirements. They brought it back. They said that if you think that you have been exposed to it, you don't have to go get tested.
Right. And then they retracted that and then stated that they were being pressured by the Trump administration to put that statement out. And so they retracted that.
Yeah.
But he said we test too much. So.
Well,
I mean, he also said we need to drink bleach, so I don't trust anything.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like back in the 80s or when
Lysol,
when the AIDS epidemic started, and then you say, man, we have a big increase of AIDS in the population, so just stop testing them.
Right.
Yeah.
If you think you've been exposed to AIDS, stop testing.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
If you've been exposed to AIDS,
go get a test. Just wait.
Don't worry.
Look, you don't act like the black community. Don't act like the black community say they don't want to get tested because as soon as you know you're sick, that's when you start getting sick.
Physically,
them old people be like, "No, I'm not going to the doctor."
I'm waiting for my application for the Space Force anyway. So.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for another edition of My 2 Cents. We'll catch you out same time next week on Friday. Peace.
Bye.